What if you couldn't see the map, the minis, or even the world around you, but you still had to describe everything in vivid detail? That's how blind players build a world, one piece at a time. I'm going to teach you how you can use the way the blind construct scenes to not only engage your players better with more vivid descriptions, but help you to create amazing and original homebrew monsters that you can use in your campaign today, using this same technique. The first major difference between sighted and blind players is their approaches to description. Sighted players usually see the big picture first. One glance at a battlefield and you know exactly where the dragon is. But for us, it's the opposite. We build our scenes from pieces, and we put those pieces together to form a complete picture. So we hear the dragon's wings first, then the thud as it lands, and then all of a sudden someone's yelling about burning trees. Eventually, the whole scene clicks together, but it's like solving a puzzle without the benefit of using the picture on the box for reference. But here's what most DMs miss. Sighted players pick up thousands of details without even trying. That's what passive perception really is, incidental learning. These effortless, silent details shape how you react to the world around you. So I'm a sighted player walking into a tavern, and I might see a bard strumming in the corner. At the same time, a shady figure is slipping out the back door. An angry patron hurls a chair at a wall and it breaks into pieces. You see all this in a matter of seconds before anyone says a word. For blind players, none of that exists unless it's spoken. If the DM doesn't mention there's a back door, we don't know it's there. We miss the context. That's why starting out with the small details first and building out your scenes from there is so important to hooking your players and getting them invested in a scene. So why does this matter in theater of the mind? For blind players to fully experience the world, cues must be spoken aloud. That way we all have access to the same scene. So if you say, you enter a grand banquet hall, every player is going to imagine something different because we all have different life experiences that we're pulling from. But for sighted and blind players alike, a much more interesting way to start this scene would be to say something like, your footsteps echo on cold stone. A long wooden table stretches into shadow. Wine spills across cracked plates. Now, we're all in the same hall, and we can benefit from the mood and the tone in the scene. We build monsters the same way, word by word. I don't see an orc with a great axe. I hear boots scraping stone, his low growl, the heavy drag of steel. That's how my brain builds him. But we can take this even further. Some of us have never seen monsters in the source books, so we're already relying on imagination. We can use this method to piece together an entirely new monster based on something known. Take a kobold, for example. When I went to PAX, I purchased a plushie to use in B-roll, and it looks nothing like the monster I see in my head. When I close my eyes, I see little pink puffballs with wings. Now, let's create an entirely new monster, and we'll do it the same way that we build scenes, by describing the physical traits first. In my head, I'm imagining a 3-foot-tall creature. Let's give him black scales. He's got a horn on his head and quills all the way down the center of his back. So now that we know what it looks like, let's name it. I'm thinking Kurg. And then we need to consider how fast it is. I don't envision it being too fast, so let's say it plods along with a heavy step. Next, we'll give him some attacks. He has a horn attack which does 1d6 piercing damage, a quill attack which does 1d8 poison damage, and a spitting acid attack which does 1d10 acid damage. Now that we know this fact, we can determine that it's immune to acid and poison damage and probably resistant to piercing damage. How many hit points does it have? We'll say 40, and his scales are layered pretty thick, so let's give him an AC 15. Next, we want to think about its demeanor. It depends on the Kurg, but in general, they're social creatures that only come out at night. Although the Kurg is a predator, it's also being hunted. Dwarves, elves, and humans hunt it for its scaly pelt to use as armor. Their quills are also harvested for their poison and to develop antidotes. We should also consider some unproven myths that would affect character behavior. Some say that eating its meat will make them resistant to acid and poison. Others swear that the horn contains magical properties. When you describe monsters and scenes using this framework, your players will be hooked because they'll be better able to understand and interact with your world. But that's only one part of immersion. Quick character sheet access is equally as important to running an immersive game. Click here and I'll show you how to fix accessibility problems to get your players even more immersed in D&D. Remember to check my socials in the description, and I'll see you in the next adventure.